Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. All right, join me in a prayer to the God of dislikes. Unfortunately, I have a mouth sore. Right out, really could see it, and it's just starting to come on, and I really despise how I always get a mouth sore at just the wrong time. I got a couple of job interviews to go to, and having to speak with my mouth sore like that is just fucking annoying. Aside from the fact that it's painful, there's another annoyance that comes with mouth sores, and this one I've learned to compensate for. When your mouth is sore like that, you have a tendency, some of it is subconscious, you have a tendency to want to finish up what you want to say as quickly as possible. And sometimes, depending on the nature of the conversation, that may not go well. If you're arguing with somebody, it definitely doesn't go well. If you're really passionate about what you're trying to say, it sometimes could backfire as well. I've learned sometimes to let people know I have a mouth sore going into the conversation. Sorry if I'm speaking a little bit slowly and deliberately. I have a mouth sore today. I've learned to do that especially. I teach at a community college, especially in the classroom, because students have a tendency to get really riled up. And you have a tendency to, I've had a few misbehaving students, let's face it, right? And when my mouth is sore, it's very easy for me to speak faster than my mind could digest it all, right? But if I start the lecture with, sorry if I'm being a little slow today, I have a mouth sore, right? Especially if it's so bad that I actually do have to speak a little bit off or slowly or something like that. And the students can see that. When something tricky comes up and I'm a little bit slow to react, right? So I'm gonna have to think hard if I on Monday when I go to that interview, if I want to start the interview like that. I probably will if I feel worse than I do today. I definitely will. But I've learned to do that, right? Even in places where you don't think. So I'm going to be traveling in Taiwan soon, and uh, when I fly out there, I like to opt out of the body scanners, right? When I interact with the TSA agent, yeah, I might start by apologizing. I have a mouth sore. You never know when conversations will flow faster than your mouth can handle, and it might trip you up, right? It never hurts to tell somebody something like that, right? You get the idea, right? That's why I started this video with that, right? Videos I might not start with, always start with I have a mouth sore, because I can control, it's not a dialogue, right? I can control that, right? At best, maybe I'll leave a comment at the end of the video, sorry I misspoke there because of that, right? You get the idea. But they tripped me up a lot. I had a situation, I was arguing with my mom, and so I had short circuited a few things I wanted to say just because I wanted to be able to rest my mouth, and they didn't turn out correctly. Finally, I had to pound my fist on it. Please don't let me talk over you like that. My mouth is sore, and I opened my mouth to show my mom. That's when I learned the hard way. It's a lot better to start the conversation with, I got a mouth sore. Sometimes, depending on the nature of if the screaming gets out of control, I'll even start writing if I'm talking to somebody, right? My mom, a colleague, or anybody at a workplace meeting. I'll even start writing if the conversation's going faster than a mouth sore could handle, right? And usually that doesn't turn too badly either. All right, but please pray for recovery anyway, right? Because not everybody will. I mean, 90% of the time it turns well, but you never know, right? You never know if the reason you didn't get a job, or the reason that a first date went sideways was because your mouth was sore, right? This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. Oh, bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.